So you can kind of come from different angles here, come up a little bit closer, come up right above them. Just, you know, whenever you're in a game, you're not always going to be at the exact same distance away from them. If there's like someone here and you really need to get to elbow for whatever reason, then you can throw a smoke and you don't even need to peek to do it. Again, you hold C and you can kind of go like this and you're just running, right? And if you go throw a good smoke, they cannot see you, right? What are the odds someone's gonna walk in and be looking like this? I think it's close to 0, even in higher ranked games. Hey guys, if you find information like this throughout the video helpful, make sure to check out the full Valorant Competitive Fundamentals course in my Patreon link down in the description below. Basically, it's information just like it is throughout this video, except for over a full hour. Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be giving you some in-depth Jett tips that can help you really improve your overall Jett skill as well as your overall competitive Valorant rank. So first tip is going to be regarding Jett's knives. The biggest thing by far with Jett players and lower ranks and just in general is going to be that Jett players are scared to pop their knives because I think they're uncomfortable with how to use them, and that's going to be the bulk of this tip, but half of this tip is literally just popping your knives more often. If you can get your knives popped at least 3 times and a half, you're doing a great job. The problem is a lot of you guys are probably only popping your knives once or maybe twice and a half, and that's just because you are scared that you're going to not be able to hit your shots. It feels different, it feels foreign. But understand that by popping your knives, you actually, it's a free weapon for yourself. It's like an upgraded version of the Vandal, and you can either buy a teammate, drop them a gun, or have a future gun for yourself. And guys, you want to be popping your knives because as soon as you're done using them the next round, you're going to be able to recharge that ult again, whereas if you're holding your ult, you're not going to be able to do that. So how do we actually get better aim with the knives? We'll come into the range here, turn on practice bots, and what we're going to do is just updraft and aim for the head. It's a 1-shot headshot, 3-shot body shot when they have armor, a 2-shot body shot when they don't have armor. These guys don't have armor, but I'm going to updraft and just practice and show you how I would practice to get better aim with Jett knives. Aiming for the head right now. Notice how I'm kind of moving around here. It's okay to hit the chest. I guarantee you guys, whenever you're in a game, you're not always going to hit people perfectly in the head, especially when you're updrafting above them. So you can kind of come from different angles here, come up a little bit closer, come up right above them. Just, you know, whenever you're in a game, you're not always going to be at the exact same distance away from them. You guys might think this looks silly, but this really does help because this is how you want to be fighting a lot with Jett knives. You want to be updrafting. You don't always want to just be fighting like you have a Vandal, although you can absolutely do this too. It is okay to do this, but to take full advantage of Jett, you want to be using the updraft, right? Now I'm going to practice aiming for the chest a little bit. And you can kind of see how this can also be fairly quick. Make sure you don't hit the legs though. And also another thing with Jett knives is they can go through enemies. So they see there's 2 people here, and they're both dead. You can also we can practice kind of jumping and using our glide. You see I'm kind of slowly gliding across. This is something you can also do to throw your enemy's aim off. It's going to be a little harder for them to hit you. If you can imagine, whenever someone's jumping, it's not quite as easy to hit them in the head. You can also practice coming like way up here. You're not always going to be on the same height. Differences as people. So guys, I would recommend just kind of doing this for a little bit. You know, like if you want to get better Jett, practice for like 5 or 10 minutes before you play, and then over a few weeks, this is going to really help your aim, and you're going to have much more confidence with your knives. So that's tip number 1 with Jett. Last thing, make sure you buy like a sheriff or a shorty in addition to the knives, because sometimes you will actually run out of your knives, and whenever that does happen, make sure that you have some kind of backup if you can afford it. Here I'm going to be teaching you how you can optimally entry with Jett's smoke, as well as some other uses for Jett's smoke. So whenever you're entering, you're going to want to throw your smoke where you want to dash roughly, and you'll kind of find the best spots for this whenever you're, you know, as you kind of play the maps more and more. Generally, you see most Jett players dash somewhere like in one of these areas here, depending on where you want to go. Also, whenever you throw smoke, keep in mind that you can actually hold C down instead of just hitting it once. So a lot of Jett players that are new will just hit C once and it'll just throw the smoke. But notice that you can actually hold C and then move your mouse to kind of control it. So you see that? So something that I like to do a lot is kind of like chuck it right into the ground so that, you know, I know exactly where I want to go and I'm a little more precise that way. Like this maybe. So now I'm going to show you guys how you want to dash in. So you're in a smoke, dash pretty fluidly, right? Pretty, like you're smoking and they're dashing straight away. You're telling your team before you do this. Then after you're in the smoke, then you have a couple things you can do, right? So let's just say we're in the smoke. We can either come out this way and take a peek, or we can come out this way and take a peek. But you can also just sit in the smoke and wait and kind of hold something. So you can kind of come like this and swing, or we can sit in the smoke, wait, and then come like this and swing shower if we think someone's gonna be shower, or if we just want to be unpredictable, right? If you're always smoking and dashing into it, and you're coming out the same way like this every single time, then they're gonna know here, like, okay, I need to expect the Jett to run through the smoke here because I know that he's gonna be there, right? Or you could do something even crazier like this, dash in, throw another smoke, and then really kind of catch your opponent off guard. Obviously be aware of this corner, just be careful. But you can do different things. Make sure you're being unpredictable after you dash in through into a smoke. And then I'm going to show you guys how you can do this on B as well. You can do this from either hookah or long. You'll see a lot of Jett players dash. So you guys are like executing. You'll see a lot of Jett players kind of come like this. Just hit space, and then you're on top of this. And you can smoke again if you want to smoke like one side off, and you want to take a fight over here. I would generally recommend just using one smoke and being prepared to fight. Usually whenever you dash in like this, you're gonna hear someone, you're gonna hear people as like your team's pushing in because they kind of need to move in order to take fights. So it's unusual that you'd be dashing in and you have no idea where anyone is. But generally just kind of be prepared to like fight here, and then be aware next of like two, right? So that's kind of how you want to do that. How else can we be using smoke? So this is kind of like a 2-in-1 tip. Obviously use your smoke to dash in. I need to teach you guys how to entry with the smoke, but also how are we smoking otherwise? So smoke's obviously great for just cover. So if you're like, if there's like someone here and you really need to get to elbow for whatever reason, then you can throw smoke, and you don't even need to peek to do it. Again, you hold C, and you can kind of go like this, and you're just running, right? And if you go throw a good smoke, they cannot see you. Just make sure there's no gaps, maybe kind of like this. There might be like a gap or something where they can see you, so be careful about that. Make sure you're getting better about throwing your smoke directly in the center of where you want to go. Another way you see smokes used a little bit is one-ways. So if you guys don't know what a one-way is, it's something that makes it so that you can see your enemy's torso, but they can't see you because they're close to the smoke and you're kind of farther away from the smoke. So this is what a one-way would look like. So you kind of throw it like this, then you'd be like down here and you can see them, but ideally they can't see you. It might be better if they're not actually on like a lower ground area and they're over here. So you're throwing one for kind of like this. And this is you're gonna be able to see them, and all that they're gonna see is something like this, right? They can't see you. They can only kind of try to spam you through the smoke. So this is something it takes a little skill to get better at. So like for example, we're gonna need to know where exactly to throw the smoke. So we don't want to throw it too high because then like they're gonna be able to see us over there. Obviously, we also don't want to throw it too low. So if you throw it too low, then actually this is pretty good. It's hard to throw it too low. Like you'd have to throw it like this low to throw it too low. So generally try to throw it lower than higher. It's hard to mess it up. Like here, you're gonna, if you crouch, you can see their feet, so you can still kind of spam them. You want to try to get it right about this height here, because then you can see them. It's a little easier to see them. It's a little easier to predict where their head level is going to be. And you can do this in different areas. It's not going to be something you want to do too often, but it's something it's really good like after you've planted, especially like on this area. This is really good right here. That's why I was showcasing this. It's not something you want to do in like these bigger open areas too much because like, yeah, I guess this is actually pretty good. You just have to learn to time it as well. So if you're throwing it and there's nobody here, only throw it if you can like hear them running up and they're about to peek. Then they're going to be just smoked off and you're going to hit them and it's going to be an easy kill. So now we're going to be talking about Jett's Updraft, and Jett's Updraft is something you can also use in a few different ways. But one of the things I'm going to be teaching you here is how to use it to position before the round starts. So this is something that's heavily underutilized. So before the round starts, you're going to want to kind of notice on some maps where there's positions. Like you might have seen Omen players up here. You can come here before the round starts. You can do this because they won't be able to hear you, right? You'll already be up here, and this is really strong. I use this in Immortal games, and this is something that really people are not expecting until you do it. You can even hold over here. You can come over here as Jett as well if you want to hold this. I think this is slightly worse than over here just because you're exposed to short a little easier, but if you hold just like this and you peek when they're coming up, then it's going to be like a free 2 kills at least if you time it correctly. But this map's great. This map's a great playground for Jett in this regard. So you can kind of play up here, hold this with a Vandal or an Op or something. You can come over here if you want to play a little more passive and you don't want to peek. This is something, again, where they're coming in. They need to clear like this side at the same time. So if they don't correctly look up here, like, right, what are the odds someone's going to walk in and be looking like this? I think it's close to 0, even in higher ranked games. Maybe in pro games when they're going to be expecting something like that, but generally they're probably going to clear something like this, and then they're just going to be dead because you're going to shoot them, right? And then you have your dash to play around with. Another place you can go is up here. I think this is heavily underrated, and this is just on one map, right, guys? So this is something you're just gonna catch them, they're gonna be dead, and then you're out. Like, there's no way. Again, you can use your smoke to get out. You can dash out. Another spot I like is here or on top of this to either op, and then here you can just play close and kill them. Same kind of thing. They're not gonna be like, they're not gonna be walking out being like, I wonder if there's anyone up here, right? And so that's why this is really good. It's really strong. And also be aware of whenever you're playing against good Jett players that you know updraft onto areas like that. Okay, so just a couple more ways you can use the updraft. We can use it if you want to kind of spot for an op, or if we know someone's opping, we can use this. And if you still died this way, then it's pretty unlucky. At least you know that this person's a really good opper. You can updraft like this, kind of cross, bait out the shot, and then someone could like swing here or something and try to kill them as they're trying to like reshoot their weapon. Another thing we can do is do it to kind of get out of sticky situations. So if you're like, if there's someone like holding you long, there's like 2 people, you can smoke this and just kind of get out. Whereas if you're gonna smoke and run across, there's like 3 people shooting you, there's a good chance you're gonna get spammed here. And if you just kind of like go like this, there's a good chance they're probably not gonna kill you, especially if you're in a lower rank. I wouldn't recommend always doing that because you're a little vulnerable whenever you're up like this. But it is something that you can have in your tool belt whenever you actually want to, you know, be able to escape from certain situations. For the last tip that I have for you regarding Jett is going to be get good with the snipers in the game, right? Like Jett's just so strong with her dash that you really want to get good with, especially the op and the marshal and the outlaw if you want to as well. But I'm going to be speaking mainly on how to op here. So a big thing whenever we're opping as Jett is that we want to be predicting where we think the enemies are coming, right? So if we think the enemies are going to come A, we're going to set up long like this. If we hear them, we're going to activate our dash, get a kill, dash out. And after you make that first shot, there's a few things that are going to happen. One is that a lot of these people are going to get scared and they're going to think, oh, we shouldn't push the op. Or they might not. They might say nothing and they might just keep pushing. So you're going to want to reset. You don't want to re-peek necessarily. They can come short, so you can go from long into holding short like this, as long as you have someone else holding your long. Alternatively, you could play a little more safe and kind of hold back here. You could even also run all the way out and come heaven if you think they're still going to push. But if you know you're playing against a heavy rotating team, meaning once you get that first kill with the op, you think there's a good chance the enemies are going to not push you, it's time to just run all the way to probably C. You can hold B if you want, but there's a good chance they might rotate all the way across the map. But you could, for example, come B and just hold something like this, or kind of, you know, hold window light as well. You can come hold from garage like this. You can come hold long, but I would recommend whenever you know you're playing against a rotating heavy team, make sure after you show where you're opping and after you get that first pick, make sure you're kind of nimble on your feet and you're thinking, where do you want to go next? Where do I want to go hold next, right? And not just, you know, always playing the same site all the time. And that will really help you net more kills. Also, guys, make sure that you know good spots you can hold from. This is a great spot to hold from. It's pretty straightforward. Don't get too aggressive, right? We don't really need to peek here with the op. This is a little too greedy. If you die here, you're going to give the enemy team an op, and that's really not what you want. You want to be playing further back so that if you die, either your team can pick up the op and give it back to you, or at the very least, the enemy team's going to have a much harder time getting it. Again, abuse the high ground areas, so this is a great place to op. I told you over here on C is a great place to op from. And yeah, guys, just be unpredictable with the op. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Peace.